Hello, everyone. AMG Podcast. We are back for 2024, and I can tell it's 2024 because I made the tactical error of not refilling my coffee before I hit the record button. But here we are, just the same. 2024, new year, same us. But in that spirit, Steve, collector of the people, Happy New Year. How are you?
Refreshed and ready to go.
Sensational. Sherry, how are you?
I'm great. Happy New Year, everyone.
Absolutely. Happy New Year. Blair, how are you today?
Awesome. Not so much refreshed, but ready to go.
Amazing. I haven't seen you all since last year, and that'll be the only time we use that joke on this show.
Yeah.
We have to get out of the way. Second day of the year. You have a little bit of a statute of limitations for all of you. Your mileage may vary. I will use it today, and then we'll move on. But we've got a couple of different things we're going to go through on the calendar, and have a handful of products we'll touch on. The main focus will be a little bit on MLS Chrome Soccer. We'll get to that here in a second. And then also Goodwin Champions, which I think is kind of a fun product. I'll talk about a handful of things related to that. And then we'll show some cool stuff with what's in the shop. We've actually got a nice little group of things that we'll be able to touch on, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll, if we've got a little time left in it, then we'll talk maybe a little retrospective if we have time. Otherwise, we'll push it over into next week. So to start off with, one of the first things we wanted to talk about was frames worth. So I'm going to show some images on the screen. So who wants to set me up on this frames worth? What do we need to know about this? And I'll start showing some pictures here as we talk.
Yeah.
Sure. We've been dealing with Framesworth for many years. They do a fantastic job, framing our pieces. So when we were in Toronto, in November, we took 20, 30 items with us and hand them over to them to professionally frame for us. And a pallet just showed up the other day. So this stuff will be available for purchase. And there's some great items. I just grabbed 3 or 4 pictures just to give you an idea, but they look great.
Love it.
Very nice. So quickly, as I'm going through them, so I've scanned, so we've got 4 of them here that we've got images of. So let me go back for a second. I'll quickly touch through what we've got here. So this one looks like it's a Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon duel here. So which is pretty nice. And maybe the artist signed at the bottom there, it looks like. So we've got another signature there at the bottom. So that's great. And then here we've got a Tom Brady one, favorite of Brad Harlan, who wanders the halls down that way. But I give Brad a hard time about the Tom Brady thing, but I'll leave that for now. But just be aware that is a Brad Harlan special right there. Okay, so moving on here, we got Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. So you got the dual autograph there, which is a nice one. That's a classic image. That looks like Hollywood Hogan in general. So that'll be sometime in WCW there during that run. And then here's Hollywood Hogan on his own. That's kind of a classic image. I've seen that one a couple of different times, but it's a good pose. It's a good pose to go along with the autograph on it. So that's pretty solid work. Nice looking frames. Nice looking frames, I must say.
Yeah, they do such a great job.
Certainly display very well. So I think that's kind of a cool little addition there. So that's the frame worth frames. We wanted to talk about that a little bit off the top. Now, next thing is we're in the month of January. We are in the new year. So that means the card show will be back this month. Who wants to lay in the dates, times, and details for me?
Yep. So the show will be the last Saturday of the month, January 27th from 9 until 1. As usual, we have a great selection, lots of tables, lots of dealers, and then we'll do the trade night the night before on Friday, January 26th. That'll be from 5 to 8 at the store as well.
Perfect. Very good. So I'll touch on a couple of these products that are going to be coming into the store here. First ones are going to be ones that we'll briefly touch on. They are in the store, but allocations are a little bit limited. So just be aware of that. If you do see it in the store, you got to rush in and grab it. So first one is 2023 Leaf Bronx Legacy Baseball. So it's kind of Leaf has a lot of very interesting little niche products. I won't go into too much detail on this one, but just high level, just so you know, it is kind of a fun product where you can potentially pull some interesting things. I think you guys mentioned there were some cuts in this particular product.
Yeah, there's it's like you said, limited, but it would have been a great product to have. Yeah, I got some. It's got a whole run of just the really old guys. Bruce DiMaggio. There's Mantle Autos in there. There's even one. I think it's called Sultan of Swatch Relics or something, but that's relics jerseys, but it's all Ruth. So
yeah, I was gonna say Sultan of Swat is one of his nicknames, so that thematically would make a lot of sense. That'd be fun.
But obviously all Yankees.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Bronx Legacy, that makes a lot of sense. Leaf does like to do a lot of those very specific niche ones, but if you're going to do a team-oriented one, the Yankees probably makes a lot of sense with their popularity.
Yeah.
2023 Bowman Draft and Prospect Baseball, so another similar product to that. That's another one that you may want to look into. Again, limited quantities, so do check in with that one as pertains to that. Next one here that will feature a little bit more, Topps MLS Chrome Soccer. So that's one of the product lines and one of the licenses that they've got there. So you got your Major League Soccer. I think you mentioned that there is potentially an interesting autograph in it. Can you give me a little detail about that?
So this one actually, it has the soccer goat, I guess, Messi. So there is, from what I could find, one, and it's actually called the GOAT SB Auto, and it's Messi. So it's a 1 of 1. There is a lot of Messi in there, though, just different inserts. There was a couple there, one in 163,000 packs or something. It's this holiday variation. So he's just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's potentially 7 or 8. And then there's variations in those, like refractors, gold and red out of 25, 5, stuff like that. So, yeah. So it's a good product.
Yeah.
There you go. MLS isn't the usual one that a lot of folks think about, but when they got Messi in there, that raised the profile of the league. So definitely, I think it's very clear based on the checklist there and the rundown Blair gave that they're very much leaning into it, which is smart. That's one of the biggest names you got. So if that's the case, then yeah, you put them all over the product and you make sure that they're emphasized. So definitely something to look into for the soccer-oriented folks. So let's touch on here a little bit of Goodwin Champions. This one I wanted to feature a little bit more because this one is a fun product. So I will include, so for the MLS one, I'll include a link to the Cardboard Connections one if you want to check out the checklist for that. And then for the Goodwin Champions, I will do the same, but I'm actually going to show a little bit more about that one just because this one is a fun product for not only just one category. It is Goodwin Champions baseball, but I'm going to show you very quickly. We got stuff that expands beyond that. So I think that makes it a little bit more interesting for a broader range of folks. Here it is to 2023 Goodwin Champions. I'm going to scroll through. We'll touch on a couple of highlights, and then if there's anything else you guys catch there that we want to touch on, we definitely can. So very important. They have made a change where the hobby boxes are now going to contain 18 packs instead of 20. I'll give you the configuration and the standard box here in a second. But just for your base and inserts, 1 to 100 base set, splash of color, which is the next 50 cards at 1 in 5 packs, slightly short printed. And they do have 1-of-1 printing plates, a lot of the stuff that you would expect there. Goodwin Platinum cards. So they've also got Tortoiseshell, numbered to 149 as a parallel. Sky, numbered to 99, parallels to the Chromium Rainbow. So here's a little bit of an example of Goodwin Champions. So you can see right there, splash of color, and that's a basketball player. As I said a moment ago, it's like, Goodwin Champions baseball, but we're literally showing a basketball player, so you get a little bit of a sense that there is a lot of different ones. Now, we do have other parallels here. I'm going to try to do this. It is the new year, so I'm going to try to warm myself up into this here. All right, so here's what we got. We got Pink Wave in Mega Blaster packs, Lucky Gold, Neon Green, Rainbow, Red Rainbow, Blue Rainbow, Green Rainbow, Orange Prism, Pink Tracks, Cosmic, Tortoiseshell, Sky, Aquamarine, Chameleon, Purple Pulsar, Green Wave, and Golden Treasures 1-of-1. Woo. Those, if you look at those parallels, they may sound very familiar to what Allure would give you, especially Golden Treasures. So that very much sounds very familiar to it, which is kind of funny. But it is Upper Deck at the same time, so it's not shocking that they would borrow some naming conventions from some of the other ones. But like I said, Aquamarine, a lot of these other ones. So it very much feels Allure-esque in terms of the number of parallels and some of the naming convention of the parallel. So something to bear in mind if you like that kind of thing. So we got Upper Deck Young Guns. We're borrowing that. So you can see, again, baseball, we're borrowing the Young Guns. We know where the Young Guns usually come from, and we brought that into it. And even the design, the design there at the bottom, should look pretty familiar with the hockey folk. Again, Allure, and now we got the Young Guns. So you're getting a little bit of that flavor.
I like that.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's one of your strongest brands because Young Guns did exist in other sports. But if you got a situation where you can do that, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you? Well, sorry, not Young Guns, but Star Rookie is the one they would borrow in other sports. Mm-hmm. But Young Guns is the strongest brand they've got now with the flagship. So if you're going to use a flagship type design, Young Guns makes sense. Here they also incorporate Black Diamond, so you've got that. Exquisite, so if you like your really nice ones. 2000 Retro SP Authentic Football. So you're borrowing on some historical designs and some design elements. So I think that's kind of neat. And then you got your Champions autographs. So right here, Anthony Richardson. So now you got football covered here. And now example here, Gowdy. So now you got surfing. So it really goes all over the map. And then here, moving forward, I'll touch on one or two things. You got Jackson Holiday. So that's a good one for baseball. Something to bear in mind on that one. But also you've got 2001 SP Authentic Future Watch autographs. So you're using, again, a historical design. And 2003, 2004 SP Authentic Rookie Authentics autographs. So you got numbered ones for that. So you're going into the greatest hits. You're actually getting a little bit of everything, different sports, different designs. Going into the the update kind of well. I did mention that with the whole thing with the cup, but in this case, all right, I'll forgive it because I think for Goodwin Champions, it adds some flavor, gives a little bit of variety. So I think that's good. So other one here, we'll feature this one, the UD game jersey with kind of a upper deck game jersey design, and you got Michael Jordan in there. Pretty strong hit, pretty strong chase for you. Again, long odds. It's going to be pretty tough to pull. Even the UD jersey is 1 in 2,304 packs. Yeah. So it's not an easy one to pull, but it pays homage to the 97-98 relic design. Pretty good. We got a little bit of golf here from the Black Diamond. And we also have the manufactured patches, different levels of that, just as you would. And we've got the bounty program. So we've definitely got there's a lot here. It's pretty action-packed. Wanted to highlight it. So the configuration is 5 cards per pack, 18 packs per box, as they said they changed it, and 16 box per case. So we've got that. Your average box will look something like 2 hits. Autographed memorabilia, manufactured patch, relic, lenticular, and or special inserts. So they've got a variety that cover that category. 4 splash of color cards, 6 platinum parallels, 6 upper deck and or young gun cards. And that is what you average box break looks like. So I'll leave the checklist for you guys to check out. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a nice product too. And we're fortunate to get a solid allotment of this. So don't wait too long, but we should be able to satisfy everyone's needs with this particular product. And I think the price point on it for what you get is pretty good as well.
Come and get it.
Perfect.
Yeah, just a couple of points, just a couple of more. There are, everybody likes hard signed autos, and back to those Goodwin and the Gaudy, they're hard signed autographs. So again, like 1 in 240 or 250 packs kind of thing, but those are there. And then there's sketch cards, which are kind of popular in other, like Marvel and different things. So there's 1-of-1 sketch cards and numbered out of 10. So those are just another couple of little highlights to up the ante on the product.
Nice. So just looking at the checklist, like I said, I'll leave it to you to check out the cardboard connections, but I will just scanning really quickly. We already mentioned that there's a lot of different categories covered, but if you want to have a little bit of fun with it, you've got things like Ernie Johnson, who's a broadcaster. So if you like the NBA broadcast, Ernie Johnson's in there. You got CJ Stroud, who's been making a name for himself in football. Mm-hmm. So that's a big name. There aren't a lot of CJ Stroud cards out there. So that's definitely an opportunity to pick one up. And then you've also got some other athletes here for these different sports that you may enjoy. Maria Sharapova's in this one. Mm-hmm. So if you're a fan of tennis, there you go. You got Tiger Woods, again, a Brad Harlan special. So like we got it covered. We got a lot of different angles and different directions. Just scanning really quickly in here. The checklist is kind of fun if you like to chase individual players and individual thing, and you're not limited to one sport. It's very clearly a little bit of a one-size-fits-all for different kind of folks that collect a lot of these different categories. Old and new, so you get a little bit of a mix and match, which is fun. Perfect. All right, so definitely going to move on and check that out later on. So I'm going to get into what's new in the shop here, and we're going to show some interesting stuff here. Once again, we got some images included for us. Now I get to go back a little bit back in time because this one I remember a lot of these. So I'm going to share these as we go, and we'll talk about these a little bit here. You guys can let me know if you want to add anything for these ones as we go. First one. I remember this set particularly well. This is your 2003-2004 Upper Deck Black Diamond, Signature Gems, Heinrich Zetterberg. The design I always thought was a little bit wonky with the way they did this. They tried to be very funky with it. But I do have some fond memories opening packs of this stuff, and also very interesting memories of the sticker, the type of sticker they used this one. It was a very limited time when they used these, but I remember these from this year particularly. Black Diamond was a favorite of mine. But a Heinrich Zetterberg, PSA 10. So that's a pretty interesting and pretty solid card, I would say. Next, we got our Artifacts Rookie Redemption here for the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm sure we can probably figure out who that's pertaining, who that's related to as far as the redemption is concerned. These are going for a pretty penny. These are actually pretty solid pulls right now with the amount of Connor Bedard out there.
Yeah, and Carlos, I'll just add too, this is currently on eBay. I believe it ends Thursday night. So you still have time to go in and place a bid on this particular item. Yeah, they go all over the place. Hopefully, this particular one goes way up here, but you never know. We just started the auction off at a penny, and we'll let the market dictate the selling price. So, a couple days left in it, so go check that auction out.
Yeah.
Perfect. And the link to the eBay store is in the description if you want to check it out. So if you, as you're watching this episode, if you want to take a look, the eBay link is in the description if you want to check out the store. All right, here we got a Young Guns of Owen Beck. So in a PSA 10. So we've got that included in here. And we've got another Young Guns here from 2006, moving back. So Chris Letang, we've got that in there, also in a PSA 10. And that's quite the image. I like the decision with the hair.
Got great hair.
That looks vaguely, you got a little bit of a mullet thing going on there, a little bit of party in the back going on. All right, so we got the Mitch Marner here, Young Guns as well. So obviously for the Toronto faithful, that's a big one. The Young Guns are always nice, accessible cards, so we got a run of those here. And here is a Patrice Bergeron. So going back to 03-04, this one was a big one, and I remember. So this was around the time period, as I said, I have fond memories of kind of this time period. I never opened a lot of wax, but I do remember opening 03-04. And actually, I pulled one of the first boxes I opened. I actually pulled the Marc-Andre Fleury. And at the time, they were trading actually quite well. So I pulled the Fleury, and I was able to immediately get my money back and then some. And that was a good pull at the time. But Patrice Bergeron, in the years that have gone by, became a bigger hit as well.
And he's also, I believe it's only a pop 54. So for a Young Gun, that's extremely low. Probably one of the lowest, like, modern hockey cards to receive a PSA 10 in. Tons of interest in this card, and it's sold immediately. But always keep an eye open for a nice looking Bergeron because it's a tough card.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would think, I don't remember if there was a specific condition sensitivity to it, but I do think with the full color bleed photo, it wouldn't surprise me if chipping is a major problem with this one, because I remember the series, and it'd be very easy to chip the outside with no real border, because if you look right across the top and the sides, there's no border. So it's if any chipping happens, that'll knock you down from a PSA 10.
It's very similar to the Bedard Easter egg card.
Yeah.
That just straight there, no border. And of course, we've been seeing some issues with some of those. And it's dark, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those combined elements make it a lot tougher to get the nicer grade. So that probably plays into what Steve was talking about the low pop.
Yeah.
So here we've got the Jack Hughes Young Guns. So we continue our theme, our cavalcade of Young Guns here. Now here we continue with the 03-04. So I did mention the Marc-Andre Fleury a little bit ago here, and now we got two of them back to back. First one is top C55, so Marc-Andre Fleury. And what I like here is that they do designate which one of the back variations there are, because there were a number of these. So they took the C55 old design and then made some modifications to include the back on it. They did kind of the faux, almost artistic look to it to kind of resemble that look. So I do remember these. So this one is the Minis American back in a PSA 10. This one here is probably one of the nicer sets from 03-04 because there were some good ones. I love Topps Pristine. And so this one here is in the PSA 10, which is awesome. And also keep your eye out for some of the refractors that came with this because they are beautiful looking cards. But even the base card, just like this, that is a nice looking base card. Continuing the Brad Harlan special. Not a Young Gun, but this one was a fun one. And also one of my favorite little quirks of the way that it worked out. 2001 Upper Deck is when Upper Deck decided to enter into the golf game. And of course, right out of the block, effectively, the 2001 becomes the Tiger Woods rookie card. And this is actually the famous image where, if anybody doesn't remember this around this time, this is when Tiger was at the peak of his powers. And Tiger actually was making a putt, and he was following it and then pointing at the cup as it went right into the hole. So this is one of his big major championship moments that is very memorable, captured on the image. This card was super hot when that thing came out. I remember this product very well. In a PSA 10, so very nicely done. Card number 1 from 2001 Upper Deck Golf. Got to have a 2005 Ultra Sidney Crosby. I actually think these ones, for my money, dollar for dollar, if you are interested in Crosby or Ovechkin, I do like this rookie card personally. I think these are fun ones. They're not the most expensive one. They're not the cheapest one, but I think they're a good balance in between and nice looking cards, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that in a PSA 10. We got a Shohei Ohtani. So this is 2018 Bowman's Best show, 98 best performers. So in the vein of what I said earlier about us borrowing the old designs, so this is in 2018. They borrowed the 1998 design. They did put it as an atomic. The atomics look beautiful. You got the cracked ice kind of design to them,
Mhm.
and the PSA 10. And obviously Otani, now that he's a Dodger, now he's once again the new hotness. Another big season for him. We'll see what happens with him in Los Angeles, even though he was in Los Angeles sort of before, kind of Anaheim, kind of Los Angeles. But with the Dodgers, it's going to be a bigger profile in that mega contract he signed. So, and that I think is the last one here. So I kind of sorted them out a little bit. That Shohei Otani is a nice one there from a rookie year for him, a rookie year insert. Pretty good. All PSA 10s.
Yeah. And all these cards are in the showcases now and available for purchase, other than the Bergeron, which sold, and the Bedard card, which is up for auction. So all the others can be found in the showcases.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there was quite a few more too. Not all 10s, but we got a great assortment of other, 9s and a whole run of different players. So they're all in the showcase as well too.
That's a solid what's in the shop. I like it. I like it. Good comeback. Good job, people. Good job. So you're not off the hook, because I was keeping an eye on the time and we've got enough time. Now I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to have a little more fun with it this year. I wanted to make sure we at least had some topics depending on how the things went. Like I said, links in the description to the Cardboard Connection stuff. We've got that on there. And then also in the same vein, I'll remind everybody, same as 2023, we'll bring it in 2024. If you've got any questions or comments, throw them in the comment section. We're going to make sure we're diligent about following up with everybody if there's a question, especially if there's a question. But also bear in mind, if you do have a question and you want a quicker answer to make sure you really get it, use the contacts that we've got both in the description and also in the channel itself. And actually, as I'm describing it to you, I'll put in the little scrolling here at the bottom just as we're finishing up here. You can use these. AMGcollectibles.ca. You can check out AMG Collectibles on Instagram. Use any of those communication ones if you need an answer just a little bit quicker. Use that. But otherwise, yeah, leave us a comment in the comments section. Comments or thoughts are welcome. And then we'll try to get back to them as soon as we can. And also, like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I want to get to 200 subscribers. So let's go.
Yes,
do it for Blair. Do it for Steve Collected the People. Perfect. Okay. So I got something for you folks. I wanted to get your thoughts. So we finished the year, which means now there is nothing left to write on the book of 2023. So a lot of different things happened in this year. We started this podcast. We started doing that related to it. We've started doing a lot of things to it. A lot of trade nights, a lot of card shows, a lot of that going in there. So here's what I want to know. I'm going to give you two. And as we go, I'll give you everybody a chance to think about your response to this. So first thing I want you to think about this. I want to know your favorite product of 2023. It could be because you happen to personally like it, or you think it's particularly nice, the product itself. Whatever criteria suits your boat. Sherry, I'm expecting something Pokemon from you, but go in whatever direction suits you. I'm just saying, whatever direction suits you. I just want to know what your personal favorite product was of 2023. So who wants to go first?
I'll go. I always like it's coming out this week. I like Goodwin. It's not the best product. It's not the flashiest, but it's fun. So, I mean, a big part of this hobby is hopefully having fun. So I actually enjoy watching people open a pack of Goodwin and they'll be like, what is a President Bush card doing in a baseball set? Like just stuff, random stuff. I remember last year, I think a guy got a Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil and a box of Goodwin. And, and I think it was worth like $2,000. But again, what is that doing in there? So it's fun. I enjoy it. That's my 2 cents worth.
There you go, Steve, collector of the people and advocate for fun. Man,
Most of the
time.
time.
Crazy over here. I like it. I like it. Blair, do you have a favorite product of 2023?
This might be boring, but I like the Upper Deck Series one that came out.
Okay.
Just for a couple of reasons. I like the changes that they made. I like the way they allotted it, cutting out the retail, just the hobby and the tins. And it was just a fun product to sell and direct, especially around Christmas time. Had a lot of moms and parents and grandparents even coming in, and I could see the bewilderment on their face, like, what am I going to get, or I can't find this thing. So I ended up directing a lot of people towards that product. They're like, I don't know what to get. And, Connor Bedard was in, so it was one of those products. It was kind of a go-to for me to direct people to, you know, and the price point was pretty good. So, yeah, kind of a fun selling product.
All right, so Upper Deck flagship. All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Sherry, I didn't want to pigeonhole you, but I just assumed the direction we could go. But no, up to you.
Yeah.
What is your favorite product of
Oh,
2023?
I actually have a couple. I mean, I always like the Allen and Ginter because I like
Okay.
oddball, kind of
That's
the
good.
mystery of going into that box. On
Mhm.
the Pokemon side, I'd say the 151 and the Mew, the ultra premium collection, obviously, because I collect Mew and Mewtwo items. So definitely those two. And we didn't have it in store, but one that I had personally purchased was the Disney 100. Love the Disney 100 items. So
All right.
those were my
Who-
top.
So who's the chase, Sherry? Who did you want in Disney 100? Who were you chasing after?
Disney 100. Well, obviously Steamboat Willie, but I did not get him.
Mm.
Mhm.
But I did a PSA order. I think it was 40 cards I had of all the Disney princesses. So, and the super rares, I did that as well. So Disney 100 was up there for me as well. Disney 100, 151, Allen and Ginter.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It was actually funny. And now I could be misremembering because I feel like I read an article on this. I think Steamboat Willie, that version of Mickey Mouse, I think it's becoming public domain this year.
I believe so.
Yeah, I heard something like that, which is interesting. I think that's it's been enough time, so that makes sense. Like, but it's like, yeah, it's tough to think. It's like because I think in order to get public domain, it has to be 100 years. So once it
Yeah.
crosses that 100 years, then it can become public domain, which is going to be interesting to see what comes of that. So it's kind of cool, very very thematically appropriate. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So no, that's perfect. I appreciate that. Good answers for everybody. All right, so I got one more for you, kind of in the same vein, and then we'll wind down on this one. So this one is going to be again open ended. Whatever suits you. So this is your personal answer for this question. I want to know what your favorite acquisition was for 2023. So Steve, collector of the people, I know that you're not in the big collect. However, maybe favorite acquisition for the store. Maybe in the course of doing business. So I'm opening it up. I'm leaving this open-ended for you guys. So maybe in the course of, it could be the coolest product that literally walked in the door that you were able to, that's an acquisition. So that counts to me. So it can be personal collection acquisition, store acquisition, whatever you want. I'm leaving it open to you. So who wants to go first?
Even this blanket here behind me is really neat. We had a lot of different things. A couple mantle rookies came through the store.
Sure.
Just some cool pictures. That's the great thing about being in this environment. You just, when you think you've seen it all, something else comes in. So I just like the steady flow of a little bit of everything. I can't really pinpoint anything. Just keep it coming.
Massive. Yeah.
All right. Seems fair. Blair or Sherry, who wants to go next?
I can go, I guess. Well, I featured one of my acquisitions, I guess, and that was the Vesna PSA graded 2.5 that I got.
Yep.
So, and then the other cool one. So I'm I don't know if I'm closet. Some people know, but Alex Faulkner, collector, hoarder, the first Newfoundlander to play in the NHL. So I had an opportunity to buy one years ago and passed on it. Was a little fussy over the shape, and so it's the wood grain beehives. Tough card to find. Anyway, this year I was able to pick up not only one, but I found a second one. So now I'm not hoarding that, but I have two of those. So I don't have a picture, too bad, but it's cool. Those were my personal ones. Yeah. And then, like Steve said, for the store, there's so much stuff comes through. There's some cool Pokemon buys or just, hard to pinpoint for the store. But.
Oh, I know you didn't want to just say choose string them on. I understand. Like it's hard to surpass such heights, but I appreciate that you keeping it even keel. No, that was the point. I wanted to. So now you've all got fair warning. So coming forward in the episodes going forward, I will have some kind of topic like that. The point isn't that I didn't prepare you. I wanted you to think about it and give me an answer. So no, that's perfect. So thank you for that, Sherry. Favorite acquisition of 2023. So it can be for the store, it can be for yourself, whatever works for you.
Yeah, it's really, like the guy said, it's hard to pinpoint one or two. Everything that comes into the store, you always find something interesting. I'm also a fan of the Royals. So aside from cards, but we had a few of the coins come in that we had previously mentioned on the show, the Queen Elizabeth kind of, what were those ones called? I forget exactly, but there was one, it had all of the diamonds or the
Gems.
emeralds, the gems around it. I loved that one. Personally, I'd say my favorite pickups would be my Kardashian cards from the National in 2023. I'd have to go with those.
No judgment. I asked what your favorite was.
Yes.
The only criteria is it's supposed to be your favorite. So
Yeah.
whatever your answer is your answer.
And I
I'll
know
accept
there's more that I have that I'm forgetting right now, but my Kim Kardashian from the National 2023 is up there.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Good stuff. So that'll have us close the book on 2023. We'll be back next week here with another different things, and I'll come up with another fun little side topic or question for these folks to answer. So we'll definitely have some fun with that. As I said, we appreciate the patronage and everybody participating in last year's episode. So we're going to try to bring it in. Also, if you've got other suggestions or things that you'd like to know, I challenge you once again, if you have questions pertaining to something in the card shop, because again, we've got folks that we're operating here at a full-time card shop, and also card shows and also trade nights. So if you want to understand a little bit more about what goes into some of these things specifically, those questions also give us an opportunity to maybe explore that. We can go down that rabbit hole a little bit and give you a little bit of insight. That's where the questions will come in. So if you guys want to participate in that, give us that, because then it'll allow us to do more things for you. Also, if there's other things you'd like to see in the channel, we could have more bonus Blair. I got very excited about bonus Blair. That was one of my favorite acquisition content-wise last year was bringing into the world bonus Blair. I'm very excited about this.
Very limited production run.
But Blair, I think we may have to. I think bonus Blair will make some kind of a reappearance in 2024. I have faith.
I agree.
This could come. I think it needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Steve's trying to think of a response, and I can see it on his face. He wants to say something. That's the part that makes me very.
Like I told you before we came on, Blair's 2 offices down, and it was quiet in here. And then all of a sudden, I heard Blair tell himself to put his work shoes on. It's like he was talking to himself, and he's like, "Blair, it's time to put your work shoes on." And I'm like, he was telling himself that. So he should just be mic'd up all the time.
I think so.
The content is there, people.
I
have visions. I'm having wonderful visions of content for 2024. I'm already very excited about
A
this.
day with Blair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to realize I am a bit of an odd duck.
Is it starting to come to you? This is the year of full realization of what we suspected for some time. Good stuff.
Oh, goodness.
All right, perfect. So thank you all. Great first show for the year. So we appreciate all of you. Steve, Collector of the People, Sherry, thank you. And Blair, of course, as we prepare for bonus Blair. So I think that'll be very exciting. As I said, more episodes coming up here. It'll be the same schedule. So we're going to be keeping that for now. And then going forward, like I said, any questions or comments, throw them in there. Like the videos, appreciate that. If you could subscribe to the channel, we would doubly appreciate that. So thank you all very much. And we will be back in the next one.